Hello, welcome to Turbo Top, and today we're on another iRacing video. And as you may see, we're back at Long Beach, a track, a track that I'm conflicted with because I love the track. It has a nice flow. With this car, it drives extremely well. You feel like you're on the edge constantly. It's extremely beautiful and nice to drive, but I don't like racing here. I hate it. And you'll see why in a minute. This is the first race of the weekend. We're starting on the back because I wasn't able to complete my qualifying lap because I made contact with the walls that tends to happen in this track. We try to go for the inside through turn one. Still, I'm not trying to dive bomb anyone, or I'm not trying to go for positions, but still, we gain one place here. And we also make a move through the fountain, which is pretty good. We give a little tap to the car in front, but nothing too serious. We get 0x for that. This first lap was less chaotic for me, or well, less than I expected, but for this AlphaTauri Porsche, further up in front, he lost it while he was braking. That's something that happens with this car. And he took the other silver Porsche in a pretty spectacular crash. That was pretty cinematic. At the end of the lap, if I'm not mistaken, I started around P15, and so far we gained 3 places. But then this car spun. The black car went to the inside. He made contact, and we're able to gain those 2 places, gaining a total of 5 positions in that first lap. Pretty decent. Just one contact that didn't cause any damage to the cars. So we're doing pretty good. I'm pretty happy. Nevertheless, this is the first lap, and as you may know, to finish first, you first have to finish. Um, Here I'll show you a bit of onboard action. And the car in front touched the inside wall, went to the outside, bounced, and I take some evasive action. I felt like my reflexes were on point at that moment, so that's pretty good. This car was like on P7? No. He was further up in front. He was around P5. But as you may see here, he didn't have any bumper or wall. The front end was pretty damaged. And not having any downforce at the front, not having any weight, leads to many handling problems. He spun and he was out of the race. Uh, you know, well, most of the times, I, I'm not gonna lie, you actually benefit from that. I was happy. I would be happy if it wasn't in this track, because this track is extremely difficult to just stay alive, to just keep the car away from the walls, even though it's enjoyable. That's why I'm conflicted. The race is longer than it should be, in my opinion. 23 laps, that's half an hour, but still it feels longer because you're constantly surrounded by these walls, and with every lap, you get closer and closer to them, and suddenly, boom, you're into them. Here I locked the brakes, but that was unintentional. I was trying to get past that Black Falcon Porsche, but I mean, I wasn't trying to put any of us at risk at that moment, and I failed. So I yield the position, and I'm trying to stay in his tail. But the thing is, if at Road Atlanta I wasn't able to attack in most part of the tracks, here you can't attack. Well, maybe you can dive bomb into turn one, which is like the typical incident at Long Beach. But usually there's not any place where you can confidently try to overtake the car in front. Plus the car, feels alive, as you see here. I did a little correction there. After the last hairpin, I spun, and well, luckily I managed to keep the car under control, turn around, and I only lost 1 place to that damaged Veloci esports car, I believe, the black Porsche. Here I go to the inside of turn one, after the main straight, and I'm able to complete the move without threatening anybody. He tries to make the comeback, but there's no place to do that here, especially with the fountain corner, which is a pretty interesting corner. I don't know what to call it, but you have to basically put the car in second or in first to take it safely. This is a problem everybody struggled with throughout the whole weekend. Understeer in turn one. It is extremely noticeable, and you know, there's barely any method or way to avoid it. You can brake earlier, but even then, you will end up locking your tires and you either understeer into the wall or, just as it did here, try to use the throttle to correct, but end up spinning the rear tires and losing all grip. So it's tough. It's tough. Luckily, we finished P7. We went from P15 to P7. That's a pretty good result. 8 positions gained and some valuable I rating. I was pretty proud of my car control skills for that first race. Here we're going to the second race. We're in the middle of the pack, of our dirt in front. We're starting, I believe, in the top 10, which is pretty good. And I've managed to get used to the wheel spin when starting from a standing position. So that's good. We avoid any incidents through turn 1 once again. Surprisingly, people were taking it pretty easily for the most part, which is good. There's no space to battle through turn 1. Absolutely none. At least during the first lap. Sadly, here I tried to use the throttle too much. I overcorrected and ended up facing the inside wall. I was able to rejoin without causing any damage to anybody. It was hard as I had to let many cars through, which is what you have to do, especially in a street circuit where the runoff area is limited. You want to avoid contact with other cars. And as you'll see here, apparently I used all of my talent for the first race. Or well, all of my talent when it comes to gas control, when controlling your right foot. So yeah, I was not really happy with those couple of incidents, but then this is the cherry on top of the cake. I understeer, but basically lost grip in 4 tires. That was a 4-wheel drift, and I touched the inside wall, damage to the right side, all the right side of the car. And then this car, well, he spun the Tequila Patron Porsche, and then we weren't able to coordinate like when you encounter somebody walking down the street and you go right and he goes right and then you go left and he goes left, or well, you don't decide where each of you want to go and you end up encountering each other. The thing is, instead of a hug, here you get contact and a damaged car. And my car was so damaged, I wasn't able to control it properly, and this was the end of the race for me. So yeah, one retirement at Long Beach. For the third race, once again, I wasn't able to qualify because of contact with the walls, so less than ideal position to be in. We had a pretty good start. I feel really confident with the starts, and that's something that, well, it makes me sad because the car is getting changed in a couple of weeks. A chaotic turn 1, as you'll see, cars all over the place. Luckily, we didn't touch anybody, and we were able to make it through unscathed and gaining a few positions down the road. The thing is, I was trying to get through that green Porsche at front, but I wasn't able to quite complete the move at the exit of that corner, and the car behind tried to go for the move through the inside. I wasn't able to close the door for him, but of course I was trying to maintain the position. I was able to fend him off from the outside of the corner, but then he barely touches my rear bumper, sends me into the tires, then he touches me, and then there's a pileup behind me. And all of the cars got damaged from that accident. The thing is, even though it wasn't like a big tap, it was enough to send me into the wall, particularly in the racing line I was following. So all of us sustained lots of damage there, unfortunately. And here I forgot to brake. That was on me. I basically forgot to brake for that corner and went into the wall, and that was race over for me. I was frustrated at this point, but I knew I had pace. That's the most like frustrating thing, and the thing that made me more desperate, knowing that I was able to fight the cars in front when it came to pace, to raw pace throughout the track, but not being able to have that chance. Luckily, well, unluckily for him, but we benefit from that situation. The cars in front have incidents with walls at turn one for this fourth race, and we're able to make it through. This is the same AlphaTauri Porsche that was involved in that incident in the first race, but he knew it was an accident. I mean, he didn't do it on purpose. So here I go straight into the wall. That was the same wall I crashed with the Ferrari a few weeks ago. I have an obsession for that wall. I don't know why. It looks beautiful. All of the track is beautiful, dangerous but beautiful. So I lost a couple of positions there. We're on P8. I was confident. I was able to, catch up to the guys in front and maybe make a move later into the race. The thing is, then this happened, and well, this car tries to rejoin. He doesn't do it safely, and then I decide to do the same, ending the race for three of us and for another Flying Lizard Porsche. We were carrying liveries from the same team. I apologized to him because I should have acted more responsibly by just waiting. My car was damaged either way, so I could have let them go into the pits, repair my car, and be back on the track sooner than expected. I was able to finish the race. I actually befriended the guy I crashed. I told him, like, hey, if I see you at the Nürburgring, I'll be more careful. And that's it for this week. It was a bit disappointing, but I mean, it is what it is. Hope to see you next week. Stay tuned for more videos. And have a nice day. Bye bye.